Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
You're up, Ms. Sabrina.
Alright, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners approves the June 22nd, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Daniel, it's up.
You're up, sir. Good morning.
Just some housekeeping stuff. We just wanted to make sure you were in the loop.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So we had the city of Ravenna reach out to us and question that we have 4 agreements that we have signed between 1972 and 2003. It's convoluted. There's a lot going on there. We'd like to try and narrow the scope, bring it back to one agreement that makes a little more sense for today's day. And part of that is the creation of a coordinating committee. And within the original agreements, they request that. There's supposed to be 4 members of this coordination committee, one being a county commissioner. Then there were 3 other positions, none of which exist other than the sanitary engineer. So we thought we would rewrite the resolution or rewrite it so that we can assign more appropriate people for that committee. And then as we get the information, we can present it to you for approval or disapproval.
How's Ravenna with that?
They're the ones that actually
So you
approached
said it, yeah.
us. Yes,
Right.
they would.
Let's fix
they
it.
would like to, and our billing with them when it comes to the wastewater side of things is a mess. Now, that's just to give you a heads up of what's coming down the
Okay.
pike. They also approached us about what's happening now, which is this CT consultant study. They have a wastewater facility within Ravenna, and they're gonna do upgrades. Part of that agreement with us is that we are on the hook for some of a portion of those upgrades, and any engineering consultants that are involved in that design process. So again, they just want a commitment from us saying, yes, we're willing to pay our fair share of that design.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Good.
Alright, the Board of Commissioners agrees to pay their portion of the consultant fee not to exceed $54,400 for the City of Ravenna wastewater treatment plant facility.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners signed the application certificate for payment for the final payment of $6,001.70 for the Western Reserve WWTP Sludge Tank N-1 22-020 payment to Workman Industrial Services, Inc. as presented by Water Resources Department.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dan.
All right, and then tomorrow or next week we'll be here just to go over that coordinating.
So you're gonna have that all?
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a heads up
Okay.
before, but it will be coming next.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
See you
you.
next
so
week.
much.
Can you
Appreciate
give us
it.
an update next week maybe on Chin allotment?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Could you put that in your notes?
Yep, I will absolutely do that. Wonderful. Take care.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a good
Jackie.
4th.
Good morning, Jackie.
Morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have several resolutions, but they're all pretty typical except number 5. I wanted to draw your attention to that one. This is the acceptance of the NOPEC Energized Community Grant Funds. Up until, I guess, yesterday, I at least was a little uncertain as to whether we qualified, but then Michelle and I confirmed yesterday with NOPEC that we do qualify for these funds. So we have to do a resolution, and then after the prosecutor's office reviews, we have to do an agreement, sign that, and then we should be good with the completed community profile. So.
Great.
Does this put us involved with NOPEC in any way other than just the grant?
I don't believe so. That wasn't the impression.
So we apparently have an ongoing contract, is my understanding, where we are members of until either side gives notice of leaving the agreement.
Termination.
So my understanding is yes, that it is an ongoing contract. This does not necessarily give us any more or any less than what was already in place, is my understanding.
It's just an ongoing membership, I guess, is my
That's right,
understanding.
until either side officially releases the other, and I'm not aware of that happening. I did research, trying to find it somewhere in case we did, and I've not found that yet.
Well,
Is either any of you
I think we
aware
missed
of
the
that?
opportunity to go out and bid anyways for it, because I know I'd sent out a thing that if we wanted to just go out to bid to see, cause we've never done that, because they've always just enlisted with NOPEC. But I think we've missed that window of opportunity, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, Chris, do you know anything about that?
I'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
There was
Chris.
discussion last year
Mhm.
about it, and then we did not choose to go out to bid at the time.
Yeah,
Is that something
and then
you-
it all blew up, so we should have, but.
would
what
you
do I
like us
know?
to put that on the radar? So that we can bring it to you, the board?
For the next year?
Yeah,
I
please.
think so. I really think we should have done it, but we'll do it going
I'll send you
forward.
an email. Okay, we will look into that. But for now, we do qualify for those funds.
Good.
And we actually have some projects that we were looking at using it toward.
What are the funds?
So that was the
How
root.
much you need?
How much? Yeah.
It's about 250,000
Yeah,
total.
it's multiple grants, isn't it?
It's a combination of.
We are allowed to
multiple
combine them
grants.
though and get a reimbursement, and they allowed us to go back a year for reimbursement, and we were thinking about using the roof project, record center, or Riddle Block.
Yeah, I think there's 160,000
Or
that needs to be
we can use any of
spent
those.
Yeah, I did.
by November, so.
Yeah.
So that we can we can reimburse ourselves for the roof.
Is there any more questions? Otherwise, I'll start reading.
No, that's it.
Okay. In accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code and this board's resolution 21-0396 and this board's resolution 21-0878, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval to, I'll make a motion to direct the auditor's office to pay process the June 22nd, 2023 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then and nows as applicable, contingent upon the verification of the reports as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to process the June 22nd, 2023 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to declare obsolete and authorize the trade-in of 8 vehicles from the Portage County Sheriff's Department.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to declare obsolete and authorize the sale by public auction of 5 vehicles from the Portage County Engineers Department.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 0001, General Fund, to Fund 1414, Child Support General Administration.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 0001, General Fund, to Fund 1480, Violence Against Women Act, VAWA.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners authorizes all actions necessary to accept the Northeast Ohio Public Energy County NOPEC 2023 Energized Community Grant Funds.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
hesitantly, yes.
Yes.
Tony?
Okay.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
John, good morning.
Good
You're
morning,
up, sir.
Commissioners.
And the team. Come on up, you can bring
We
up
got 2 chairs.
Karen
we
or
can bring-
George.
Come
You
on
wanna
up.
come on up? We can slide another chair up.
Do I present or does Chris present? Good morning,
I
everyone.
think you
It's
do,
nice
sir.
to see you again.
To start
Okay.
with.
You and Chris
Okay.
can both
Chris
present.
is your backup,
Chris,
right?
why don't
Okay.
you? Yeah.
And do I just stand?
No, you please have a
Come on
seat.
up, have a
Please
seat.
have a seat.
Okay.
We ordered those special just for you today.
Okay, thank you.
I have coffee, I don't have a cup, but I have
Oh,
coffee.
no, thank you. I've had too much coffee already. So, good morning. Thank you
morning.
for allowing us to come before you and present a proposal to obtain a credit card for the Mental Health and Recovery Board. We've been working on this for a while. As you know, the board has a little bit of a different standing in the county in that we're part of the county, but because we have our own levies, we're kind of a pseudo freestanding board also,
Yeah,
like
quasi.
DD, like some of the others. And so our situation's a little different, and basically, over the past few years, as everything becomes more digital and online, we've faced a problem where registrations are only able to take place online, and a lot of organizations won't accept POs anymore, things like that. So we were hoping to procure a credit card. We would have it, there's been some discussion back and forth with Chris, and I know there's a requirement for most of the departments to have pre-approval of expenses. That would be very difficult for us to do. And also because our board meets monthly, we have a board of directors, Bill Noem is our chair. They vet and approve all of our expenses each month. And our CFO, George DeBoard, presents a detailed accounting of all of our expenses. Contracts, of course, we take before them and get pre-approval to enter into those kind of things. So one of the features of this card is we're hoping to not have to get pre-approval from the commissioners each month for our expenses. We would do whatever the auditor's office requires, and Chris can speak to this a little bit more. The commissioners do have the authority in ORC to allow that, to approve that kind of arrangement with the card. It would be in the three officers' name, myself as executive director, Karen Kravitz as associate director, and then George DeBoard as our chief financial officer. And so there would be no ambiguity about what's being spent and who's spending it. If one of the staff need to attend something, we would arrange that for them. We want to use the card as little as possible. And basically conference and lodging needs, various supplies, food, snacks for board meetings or committee meetings, meals at various business meetings, parking, awareness campaign, lunch registrations, vendor table registrations, and then website advertising, LinkedIn. And then the other things are basically the conference registrations, and you can't buy software online without a credit card. We can't even shut down our P.O. box at the Kent post office because we don't have a credit card with our address on it, because our post office box was created 40 years ago when they only had Diners Club credit cards, right? So I don't know how we're gonna get rid of that $3.30 a month and stop stuff from going to the P.O. box, because so that's our dilemma. And
What's the limit that you're asking for on the card?
how much? 3,000, yes.
Okay. Chris?
Yep, thank you, Dr. Garrity.
Thank you, Chris.
Pretty straightforward issue. This falls under the county credit card section, that's 30127. You already have your own credit card. I think you hold 3 of them in your name. What this statute does, it allows an appointing authority, which is any other public body that has the authority to hire and compensate their own employees. An appointing authority may apply to this board for authorization to have specific officers of the appointing authority use a credit card. So in this case, like Dr. Garrity was saying, they have applied that a credit card be issued in the name of the Mental Health and Recovery Board, and specifically to be held also in the names of Dr. Garrity, Mr. DeBoard, and Associate Director Kravitz. So that's part one. Part two is, like John was mentioning, there's 2 sections of the statute. In Division E, there's an E1 that requires the appointing authority to come before this board either monthly or quarterly for prior approval, or there's E2. In lieu of going to E1, which is a prior approval, E2 allows this board to adopt a resolution where in that resolution it specifically states the work-related expenses that it can be used for. It specifically states who the officers are that can use it, and also specifically states the actual line item of appropriations. So if we do that, you can go through E2. The only kicker there is E2 requires, before you adopt the resolution, that the auditor be notified.
Okay.
So essentially, if the board concurs in granting the application that a credit card be issued in the name of the Mental Health Recovery Board and 3 officers we just mentioned, then what we could do, I could help the clerk draft a letter to the auditor, and we can attach, I drafted a resolution that's almost ready to be adopted. It spells out everything that ultimately be presented to you. We can send this to Auditor Kelly, and then after that, maybe put it on next week's meeting. and get it adopted if this board approves the authorization.
Because John, you're right. Even to go to a chamber lunch, everyone wants you to register online, and some of them don't. They want you to. I've had them where they want you to send through a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I mean, it's just a world of electronic transaction. No one wants checks. No one wants cash. Everything like
Yeah, it's
paper.
tricky.
Yeah.
Just to renew Acrobat Adobe, you have to do
Have
it
it
online.
online.
And,
Have to have a card.
It's tricky.
Any questions, Commissioner Taylor?
Do you have any idea what your expense would be a month?
Less than 3,000?
Oh,
Would
yes,
have to be,
absolutely. Yeah, and that would be high if we had that much, I think, typically. And we do want to use it conservatively, still use paper wherever possible.
So
And
when
John-
when I come out there, there'll be snacks?
Yeah.
I don't remember snacks when I was out there.
Call in advance.
Well, you haven't gone to any of their meetings. They always have snacks
We saw your
and
call,
dinner.
sir.
Oh.
Hey, John, is that limit 3,000 over the 3 cards that would be issued, or is it per
I
card?
think total for the
Total.
account,
Total, okay.
yes.
I just
can't-
wanted to clarify that, so.
Yeah, we never travel nationally unless it's a federal grant, and then they pay for that, as part of the grant and everything. So our expenses, a night in Columbus or something,
It's
or
not,
some
no.
trainings, a hotel room, it's pretty low.
Because that was gonna be my next question. I know we've just had to raise some limits in organizations that I'm in. Because we had them at 3,000, we've had to kick them up to 5 because travel expenses have gone up.
Yeah.
So, but for now, 3,000.
We're a small shop.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, like you said, you
Should
answered
we
my
take-
question.
Should we take more? Do I hear more?
I think the thing is to start at 3,
Three,
and then if we
okay.
see a need to go higher, we would come back to you with that, because I think we can go up to 10,000 a month. But we thought conservatively that this is all we really needed
Start.
in 1 month, because
Yeah.
it will be paid off every month.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't like, my credit card is always trying to raise my limit to, something
Well,
ridiculous that
I
I
know,
would
but
never
that's why I was
spend or
saying
pay
that
off.
get 3
And then
of
we'll
you
never let you go
traveling.
down.
Yeah, right.
Mine
Take it
keep taking
easily.
it. I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
everybody's
May I
good?
ask a question?
Please.
Chris, will this, resolution replace the need for the travel form?
Boy, remember, there will be their separate
separate
appointing
board.
authorities, so you will still have your travel form, that's a good question.
I mean, but we have other elected officials that use the travel form.
Yeah, unless any of the other appointing authorities were to come before this board seeking their own credit card, then we still want them to use the travel form that we have.
Okay.
So with in John's case, it'll be separate, cause
Yeah, there's.
There's
some-
separate.
We handle that separately now, and sorry to interrupt, if I can add, so we will use travel reimbursement forms. Nobody will use this like for gas or anything like that. We have a mileage reimbursement at the federal rate, parking, all that stuff, their meals, and they turn that into us right after their trip, and we review those, and then each month our board reviews that. There's not that many.
And
but
this is just for the use of the board or
Mental health.
mental health?
Yes.
And not everybody else?
correct.
Okay, it's just things that you need to do in-house, like right now?
Yes,
Yep.
and then, right, and then, conference registration
Right,
for
right.
employees or trainings or things like
Okay,
that.
yeah, it sounds like, yes, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So next week we'll have resolution?
After they run it past Auditor Kelly.
Yeah. Cool.
And we have had discussions with the auditor's
Yeah.
office, and we've had discussions with, Hometown Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And, but of course, just preliminary discussions, and with our board said, gave us authorization to pursue this, and of course, waiting for all that and Chris's office, and waiting for all that to come to you guys first.
Great, excellent, thank you, thanks for being here.
Super.
Yep.
Good to
See you
see
next
you
week.
Thank you
guys.
so much, good to see
Good to see
you.
everybody.
Bye, John. Bye,
Bye-bye.
George. Bye, Karen.
Thank you very much.
Internal services.
I think Chris was gonna talk. So you can go first, and then you can whatever. Sorry. Hi.
Hi. Morning.
Good morning. I have project updates and then resolutions.
Thank you.
Parking lot's looking good.
I know, yeah, it's great.
They're destroying the street this morning.
I'm gonna skip to the second page on my project updates. For the Marks Tower radios, we had, several bids actually come in for that, and the consultant's reviewing them right now to make their suggestion. They had a couple questions for two of the, people that put in their proposals, so they're reaching out to them currently. And I'll go to the fourth, I should probably number these pages. Fourth page, the prosecutor's office. The windows on the west side, they've been caulked, so there was spray foam. There was no caulking at all, anywhere.
So they believe that's the reason we
Yes,
had this
because you
leak
need to
for-
caulk around the windows to prevent water from coming in. They're not gonna, it's gonna look like a little bit messy for a little bit because they're gonna do water testing everywhere before they put the granite panels back on. They also use some sort of foam to put the panels on that was not supposed to be, so they're having a really tough time getting off the panels. They don't wanna break them, but.
No. How do they test it? The fire department?
No, they
propose?
just basically take a garden hose over it.
Oh, okay.
And see if it seeps in. And then the granite piece that's missing, that's gonna be installed on the week of July 3rd, so that's
Cool.
in, so.
Excellent.
I'll skip to the next page of the Ravenna Courthouse. The parking lot, phase 1 of the plan is complete, which is about half of the site has been excavated, and they're still on schedule. If we go to probate court office renovations, the contract is being routed for signatures currently, and they're going to be setting our pre-construction meeting soon. We're hoping, it's hard because of the holiday weekend, like everybody's kind of messed up because we're taking off, so it might be that week, if not the following week. And then I apologize, the Riddle Block building is actually, the update for the HVAC replacement and the everything, is on the second page when I printed them. And they're currently actually replacing HVAC units right now. They're taking one off at a time, they put it back on.
I thought the roof was gonna happen simultaneously with the
Well,
roof.
so what they have to do is they'll take off the unit, they have to build up the curbs that go around the units, and the roof will be done after the units are placed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they can't work at the same time. They were trying to work it out, but the roofers have to come in to build up the curbs that go around the units before they put in their.
So the only time I was up there, that
Was when
roof
I was
kinda-
up there with
Yes,
you.
that roof kinda
Yes,
trampoline?
they have to take that out and rebuild underneath.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that was a question.
Yep,
Okay,
yes, so it'll be all solid.
solid, I could walk across it.
Yep, you can
follow
do it and
through.
you won't have to worry about falling through.
Right, great.
Yep, and that's all I have
That's
for
it?
that. Yep.
Excellent.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. I just have my resolutions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into a real estate lease agreement between the Portage County Commissioners on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services and the Revocable Trust of James A. Shrewsbury.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an amendment number 3 for prevention, retention, and contingency utility assistance services between the Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services and Community Action Council of Portage.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an amendment number 3 for the prevention, retention, and contingency legal services between the Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services and Community Legal Aid Services, Inc.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an amendment number 3 for Title 20 home-based chore services between the Portage County Commissioners on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services and Vantage Aging.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an amendment number 3 for Title 20 geriatric mental health counseling services between the Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Portage County Jobs and Family Services and Family Community Services, Inc.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes, that's gonna be mine.
The Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an amendment number 1 for parenting and domestic violence servicing through the REACH program, Recovery, Empowerment, and Action, creating Hope REACH between the Board of Commissioners on behalf of Portage County Jobs and Family Services and Family and Community Services.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners agrees to the execution of the 2024-2025 sub-grant agreement between the Portage County Board of Commissioners, Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services, and the Ohio Department of Medicaid.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into an agreement for the development of custom iPhone and Android mobile application for emergency management related information between Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Portage County Emergency Management Agency and OCV LLC.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners declares obsolete and disposal of the Portage County personal property located in the Portage County Probate Court Clerk's Office.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Mike?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tammy, you're up.
Mike?
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
All right. So, I'll do a little talking today.
Okay.
So just a little HR update with our department. We've had a lot of different things since I started in the end of 2022. But with us moving into the Ascentus program and rolling that out in January, we were at 55 vacancies when I started, and now we're down to 30. So you definitely see a progression of where we're filling, we're filling the vacancies for the departments that are in need to hire. We've done some really neat things to kind of keep checking in with the new hires that are coming in. We've done it's like an e-card that goes out, just kind of like a cute little moving video on just like checking in on you and making sure that they realize that we're available to them for any questions in regards to benefits or perks and things like that. So we shoot
You get
that
any
out.
feedback from people?
People are like, it's a cute card, you know what I mean? 'Cause it's like a moving little thing.
Yeah.
They click on it, and then it's really cute. I'll actually send it to you guys. It's kind of
Yeah.
cute. So, I got into a creative mood, and so we did that. We just constantly been continually marketing in different platforms, really trying to expand and push our social media, organic traffic to highlight things that are happening with the county. Really highlighting leadership in the sense, things that we do, like with the training that we just had with the crisis communication. I kind of took some pictures of that and kind of posted it so it shows like some progression and positive things and inspiration of things that we do, as a county and stuff. So.
That feedback from everybody that I've spoke with is great.
Yeah.
In crisis management.
Yeah, it was a really great training.
Yeah.
Definitely was a great training. So, so pretty much that's that. We have changed some internal processes since I've been here. The new hire orientation looks a little different. Now I know the Kent State kids all interviewed you and it had videos and all of that. So they had put together a PowerPoint presentation, but it was pretty just standard and it didn't have any life to it. So I kind of created some life, put some transitions in there and kind of gave it a little wow factor and added some music. So that will start playing, with our new hires. That will be like the intro.
When are you going to bring that in for us to be wild?
I just finished it, so
Okay.
I can send that to you guys when I send you the little checking in card.
Okay.
So I'll send that to you. Had a little bit of hard time trying to dial down the background music when the videos came in, when each of you guys said like welcome to Portage County, because that was our little catch tag that we did in that thing. But I have other videos with other stuff with the kids and how they interviewed you, so I have video clips from each of your answers, and I like to try to incorporate that eventually into something, and just again to highlight you guys and Michelle with the with what you guys do and how leadership and executive, with what you guys are in charge of and all of that stuff. I think it's important.
She showed you already? Tammy.
No, I didn't. He's pulling your leg.
She didn't.
No.
And I think it's really been good. We've had an opportunity to keep the new hires longer, so they're just not in and out, in a half hour, 45 minutes. We provide snacks, so if you want to ever get a little snack
Did you hear
pack,
that?
you can just come in on Monday mornings, and there's always a little snack bag there to let
Huh.
people take. Since we're keeping them for a little bit longer, we have coffee, which I know you like. So, so I know you have your own Keurig over there. So, but it's really good. I think it gives people kind of a good baseline. We have them go through ethics for a county employee, which I think is an important thing. Being an county employee, we're held to a higher standard with the public and all of that. So I think it's important that they understand, the commitment they make to become a county employee.
Awesome.
We do the distracted driving, which is of course tied back to our liability insurance. That it's important with all the new laws and changes. And then we also do a sexual harassment basic thing. So again, putting that information out there so that people know, what's right and wrong when they go into their workforces and stuff. So
Cool. Very good. Sounds great.
So I'll send you guys your email with your cute
Okay.
little things.
And then wage study wise, we're wrapping that up with Clemens and
good.
Nelson. So I'll have an analysis and an overview report for you guys to review so we can see how we can proceed with that.
Excellent. All right, thank you.
Alrighty. So that's that part, and then we also wanted to make some changes in the adopting the new vehicle policy that was under a resolution. We had some changes, of course, come through. We have, Sarah, the executive assistant, has now taken on a lot of the course insurance piece. And so with us changing a lot of that stuff and taking on workman's comp as an HR department, there was some verbiage in that in that language that we needed to kind of make sure it was all pointed in the right direction.
Okay.
And then we also added the distracted driving law that will, took place in April, but I know there's a 6-month window for people to not get cited for anything, but I think it's important anything that's regarding vehicles and that information is out there, so.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, you ready for resolutions? Journal entries?
The Board of Commissioners agrees to adopt the revision of the Portage County Vehicle Use Policy dated June 29th, 2023.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes?
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, in accordance with section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code and the Board's Resolution 21-03696, Part 9I, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval too. I'll make a motion to authorize to promote Zara Burkett, JFS Supervisor of Child Support, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. The tentative start date is Monday, July 17th, 2023.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to authorize the internal posting for 3 days and then external posting of a bargaining position for child support specialist for the Portage County Jobs and Family Services.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to authorize to hire Isaiah Jones, Social Services 3, Group Home, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. The tentative start date is Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire is contingent upon the applicant passing the required pre-employment screenings.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1. The Board of Commissioners moves into executive session to consider the dismissal of a public employee.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes. We're gonna ask everyone if you could step out into the hall for a few minutes, please.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Kelly Jo's gonna stick around.
Kelly Jo, would you please stay?
Yep, I will. You want me to come up there?
Yes, please. Make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second?
Roll call.
Tony,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes.
Action?
And action?
Action.
Yes,
Yes.
there is action in accordance with section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code and this board's resolution 21-0396, part 9I. The Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval to remove and terminate Sarah Raines from employment from Jobs and Family Services Department effective on June 26, 2023.
Roll call.
Sabrina.
Yes.
So Mike
Oh,
second.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Sorry.
Good job, Cassidy.
Yeah, way to be.
She's catching on.
Way to be
Behavior.
here. Way to
Thank
be.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think we're next.
Job and Family Services is next. Morning, Sue.
No, I'll stay in your seat.
Okay.
So I
She
don't,
jacked that one
you
off.
might say something about a stool again, so I'll just stay here.
No.
See where I'm at. So our first item, if you're ready, is the April-May JFS data report. I would say under the Public Assistance Division, where I would like you to highlight is the reduction in Medicaid recipients from April to May. 38,325 down to 37,717. As you may recall, there's an initiative across the country on the Medicaid unwinding. Those were the individuals that were placed and left on Medicaid during the pandemic, and now we're all charged to conduct reapplications, reassessments with them, so we're seeing the reduction in those roles. So that was under the public assistance. I did not see anything that was significantly different in any of the divisions. I would highlight in the Child Services Division on page 5. As of the end of May, we were at 180 children in our custody, and as of today, 189. So we are seeing an uptick in kids coming into custody.
You know what, Kelly Jo, on page 2, I noticed like first-time visitors to the OMJ Center, it went from 18 to 77, and like total OMJ Center customers was 113 to 215, so that means that people are actively seeking employment.
Services, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out, cause that's a good.
I can also follow back up and give a high-level overview of what kind of services that they were.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would do
just
that.
out of curiosity.
I did not catch that. You caught that. Thank you.
When it's going up that much.
You wanna
that's it.
see what's the reason?
Yeah, the program appears to be working if it's going up that much, yeah.
Yes. Any other division, before Children's Services that you wanna, touch base on?
It's the intake applications, the 0 walk-ins, is that, I just didn't remember seeing the 0 versus those numbers only by phone.
You can, well, they're applying via mail, electronically,
Electronic.
online.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
They still have the option to walk in to, apply, but that's the option that's happening right now. Last is under the Human Resources Division. I know I heard Tammy briefly talk about, the reduction in postings. And we're seeing that, cause we are, at the end of May, we had 197 employees, so we're up.
What's your target, to what?
215.
250.
Yeah, but we're eagerly waiting to hear about the budget, because if the budget gets cut, we might have to reduce that number, so reality is if we don't have the same sustainable dollars, we're gonna be conservative and watch it as we move forward. So that was our, JFS data report. Are you good with that? Do you have any
I'm
other
good.
questions?
Good.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can you give us an update on the group home, like how, Commissioner Tillman being a newer commissioner, how it works, who we have in there?
Yes.
Average usage, whatever?
Yes, so it's an 8-bed group home. We started out, we still are licensed co-ed, but when we had co-ed when we first started, it wasn't a novel concept. So right now we just have young men there. We have 4 boys residing there now. I think we've had probably between 35 and 40 kiddos come through the group home since its inception in 2019. We typically accept kids that are not a risk to themselves or others, just because that clinical component really needs to be in a higher level. What do you have
How long has
specific?
that group home been there?
2019. It's home for a lot of kids. We step kids down out of juvenile corrections, typically when there's no placement options.
Typically, how long are they there?
It varies. We've had a handful of kids that have been there over a year. We've had kiddos that have been there 45 days and reunited with families, so that's something we could actually get data on. It just depends on the circumstance of the kid.
Is there adult supervision there all the time?
24 hours.
And they're served meals, and do they prepare meals? Who prepares the meals?
We promote independent living because
Okay.
the age range is 11 to 18, so we are promoting independent living, that they cook their meals with staff, that they learn to do laundry. They have a chore list. We have a behavior modification plan. They get chore money, incentives. There's an activity calendar. We're licensed by the state. We're also a qualified residential treatment program, so all of the staff have had to undergo trauma training, which is a federal requirement. We are a restraint facility, meaning that if a child would try to hurt themselves or others, the staff are trained to restrain them, but that's not our first order of business. I think in the 4 years we've been there, we've restrained 2 kids. But
Kelly Jo, can you also, when you report back, give us like the scenario if we were to send a child out, the cost versus the cost savings by having the group home, what it would have cost to send the 4 kids out versus keeping them within our group home?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Any other questions now? Good?
Nope.
You're welcome to tour it. We had a grand opening
it's
when we
nice.
first opened, invited public officials too, so they could also see, or kiddos again from detention are coming too, but, it's a unique place in that with the placement crisis issue, we don't have a lot of placement, period, but in the space for males, it gives, a unique opportunity for them where they otherwise might be in facilities.
Only males?
It's
in that
co-ed,
facility?
it's just with, teenage years, it's a challenge to have boys and girls living in
I'd
the
say.
same home environment.
Yeah.
We thought it would be safer. We would love to have a girls group home at some point, but if you're
Would you?
analyzing, the value of it now, I think the value is it's home to a lot of kids that would otherwise be in a facility.
When I first started, some of the facilities that you spoke about, the daily cost, that Sabrina just asked, that those daily costs of sending them someplace else was kind of crazy.
You thought it was crazy then?
It's worse.
It's
We have a kiddo right now that has multi-system needs that's in a facility. We've been paying about $335 a day because of his behaviors and the trauma. We negotiated a rate of $1,000 a day. So when you put that into perspective, and there's no other placements other than out of state,
Wow.
that's the placement crisis issue that we talk about, that we're trying to advocate for the legislator to bring the cabinets together and talk about the kiddos that have developmental disabilities, that are the mental health issues with, did John leave? The mental health issues with our kids is profound at this point. So when kids are self-injurious, wanting to hurt themselves or take attempts to, not a lot of facilities want to take the risk. There's a big liability, and so you're looking at
$1,000 a day.
$1,000 a day.
Over 1,000.
We do get reimbursement for some kiddos at 66%
So about $400,000 a year.
for one child.
Wow.
Franklin County, Director of Franklin County is a peer of mine, a friend of mine. They have a kiddo in a 6-to-1 placement arrangement, 6 staff for 1 kiddo for the needs. $3 million a year to place 1 child. This is the profound crisis that not a lot of people want to talk about, but it's real. We're not as bad as some, but we are starting to feel it. The kids with developmental disabilities, there's not a lot of options. There's 1 developmental center, Tiffin, in our area. The waiting list is profound. And I'll go on the record, I think we need facilities, true treatment facilities for kids where there's no wrong door, despite if you have mental health, despite if you have a DD diagnosis. We have a kiddo right now that slept in our building for the last 2 nights. She's sleeping right now on our 3rd floor. We did find a placement for her. in Cleveland, but the reality is with kids with multi-system needs, you don't just find a placement. You beg, borrow, and steal, and it's not always the best placement for kids too. And that's the best interest ethical thing that when I lay my head on my pillow at night, it bothers me, it nags at me. That are we really servicing kids in the right way because of this placement crisis? And I would say no, not just Portage, the state of Ohio and other states as well. So you opened up a Pandora's box, which in the space of
And she's over $1,000 a day.
but in the group home situation, again, these kids would otherwise, if a foster home isn't inviting them into their home, they would otherwise be in a facility. Yeah, which is higher rates. And there's other things, you know, it's not always the right environment for kids either, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so that goes to my next item that, I just wanted to update you that I did outreach to Senator Sykes and Representative Pavliga. In the budget currently, it's called KID line item 830506. And it's not politics, I'm just putting it out there in the Senate space. They moved to reduce that line item significantly, and so many of us as directors asked for them to restore it to original amounts because of the placement crisis issue, the supports to connect families, and so that's a big issue for us, and I just wanted to be fully transparent that I did outreach and ask would they consider, just knowing the impact that it would have on child welfare.
The crisis that we have now, does this come and go?
It hasn't.
How long is the crisis? Has it been the last 2 years, 5 years, 3 years? And have we had crisis before, then it kind of goes away and comes back?
I would say the placement crisis has been profound since COVID.
Okay.
And it hasn't done anything but gotten
Changed.
worse. Yeah. And then staffing levels, behavioral health, there's need for behavioral health providers. So a lot of the facilities also don't have staffing. So it's just a horrific tragedy. And so, the other item that I had, we established that adult protective community support group, and it's grown to like 20 members. We have representatives throughout the community. We really want to do more for our seniors. Home health is
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Home health is a service we don't have in Portage, so we're looking to be very creative to contract with some agencies to do like we do with our manufacturing internship program. We're looking to do a STNA internship program where we can train individuals to be home health aides in that space, but also serve our elderly. Our adult day services provider states that there's a number of seniors, I think I told you this, that would be eligible to come in, but they also can't get there because of transportation. So we're trying to address the home health issue, and we're also trying to address the transportation issue and inviting some community partners like PARTA and others to talk about how can we do better for our seniors. So I wasn't here last week when you got to read the proclamation for elder abuse awareness, and I just wanted you to know we're doing lots of neat stuff around in that area. Questions on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then back to school. In line with that, there's a flyer, save the date. We have our annual senior forum on Tuesday, September 12th at Immaculate Conception Parish Hall, and that's for our seniors in Portage. We have many information tables with lots of information. We have keynote speakers around topics relevant to elderly. Our Attorney General sends reps on senior scams. We do stuff with Social Security, estate recovery. We have snacks. Seniors love snacks. We have gifts, little gifts, but
Do you have
I
salt,
like
pepper,
snacks.
And you're
packets
close
and sugar
to
packets
seniors,
for
though.
them?
no. But you're welcome to attend this year and get some snacks.
It's
and
things you
some-
don't have to chew
I'm
with.
not a senior though.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're preparation.
But it's a great event, and we're glad we're post-COVID, that we did a couple drive-throughs because of the health risk, but we're getting back to normal in that space. And then my two more things. I had a back-to-school health and wellness fair Thursday, August 3rd. This is also an annual event, back to normal, where there's a number of community partners that are doing things with back-to-school supplies. We will be there with provider tables as well outside in our OMJ parking lot. But we also promote our back-to-school voucher program That's within the last week, so people can apply for a voucher to get school clothes or school shoes. But we have we have managed care providers there. Kids fill up backpacks. It's just to prepare kids and families for going back to school. Some presentations there as well. So we're excited about that. And my final thing before Sue is that we talked about the Medicaid unwinding and the initiative across all of the states and then all of our counties in Ohio. In our Portage County, we received 106% on our Medicaid renewals in May. How does somebody get to 106%? We were tasked by the government to realign or reassess 903 assistance group blocks, and we did 961. So a little overtime tied to that helps a bit, but we surpassed our goal, and so they recognized us, and we got a little money.
That was for SNAP.
That was SNAP,
yep,
so
that
that's
was
another
SNAP.
program, but we're doing well. I'll present that next time.
The
But
SNAP increased after they took away, they've increased for SNAP?
You mean,
You just
Food
said SNAP.
assistance.
no, we
Okay.
got, because of our timeliness, they're giving, the federal government is giving out incentives
Okay.
for those counties that are 95% or higher, and we just got our first incentive for the months of March and April. We haven't gotten it yet, but about $13,000 they're giving us, so. It turns into local funds, so we don't have to, we can use it however we wanna use it, so it's nice.
I have a question.
yeah,
Didn't we discuss a month or so ago about having hotel accommodations when we needed them? And I recall that, and I'm just curious as to why we have a young lady on the third floor chilling when we had some discussion of a hotel available.
The hotel stuff that we normally pay for are people that are 18 or older, aren't they?
yeah.
Just-
It was
they'd
a
have to have
different, was it the CCPP group we talked
Probably,
about?
it probably was.
We can in this space too, but that we do. We have funds that for our CCMEP comprehensive case management, we do have agreements and fund kids that are homeless and stay in that. Why are we in the lobby with her? We were in hopes that we were gonna get placement yesterday, it manifested today. And we have staff with her, of course. We do
Sure.
have an area that has a pull out and a
Right.
TV. So it's safe also for her to be in this building because, our security is right across the hall, not overnight, of course, but this is, I think, the safest place for that kiddo to be. And if you open the papers or Google it, I think we're not an anomaly like Cuyahoga has.
Sure.
It's not right, but it's the placement crisis. We could look into hotels and that. It's just hopefully that's not as common as we want it, it should be. But we have made her very comfortable here.
I get it, but we need to talk about that.
But we absolutely
Yeah,
can.
let's see what we can do.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great too, if we can get that county credit card situation moving in all areas, then in that space.
Sure.
If we need to, and then we could extend it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the best option for sure, and
Okay.
just being fully transparent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Sue?
Yeah, all right, so our first one is just our regular shared, costs from child support to public assistance for May.
All right, I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 1414 Child Support Administration to 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 1415 Child Welfare Special Levy Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
See? See how I am?
It took you the whole meeting to say that?
I said it once to someone else.
County Administrator.
County Administrator, please. Change the subject.
Glad you guys are here.
I do
See
not
how
have
I'm
an
treated.
update at this particular point in time. Chris, did you wanna talk about anything else?
Just real briefly, with the airport,
Yes.
AMS has started looking at all the deeds. There's about 38 parcels out there. And they just sent an email yesterday saying that in looking at the maps and deeds, if we wanna do a 60-year title search, which I think we probably wanna go that way.
60?
Yeah, because the airport, I believe, was formed about late 60s, early 70s. So if we go 60, I don't think we need to go 100, but I'd suggest let's do a 60. And Amy was saying with the 30-plus parcels, you're looking at about 2,200 to 2,500. And it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks. So if you're okay with that, I could send up the journal entry next week. But if I can give Amy the okay, maybe she can get started and we can get going at. Once we get all the deeds, then we can start drafting them
Okay.
to get them conveyed over to the board.
Amy or
Amy's
Cassidy?
not here.
Oh, it's Amy
No,
from
it's
AMS.
Amy
Oh,
at
excuse
AMS.
me. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, okay.
AMS Amy.
Yeah, we need to move forward with
Jeez.
it.
Please,
Okay.
please, go ahead.
Why are you confusing us?
I should have qualified it.
This is too easy. Okay, thank you.
I have a
Doesn't take much,
question
Chris, don't worry.
before you, hey, Chris, I have
Yeah.
a question. Why would another county request, records request on our airport?
They can.
I think.
Well, I understand that,
think
but I'm
so.
asking if you know
About
why.
jobs. About jobs?
No, they asked for our, survey.
Our
that was
study.
done
Oh, they
in
want our study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask
Why?
Ashtabula, ask him for it?
Probably, everybody's having difficulty
With
filling
the
their
airport to
spots.
see.
And maybe everybody's competing, and then we've gotten calls with other prosecutors' office kind of saying, what do we pay? Because everyone's competing
Yeah.
for attorneys and ours, like Vic will tell you, to fill our spots,
Yep.
it's a buyer's market. So that, I don't know why exactly they might ask, but that could be it. Want to see how competitive they are with.
Yeah,
with
or,
everyone.
you know what, it could be, maybe they're contemplating a study for their airport and wanted to see what was in the contents
Gotcha.
and stuff of the report.
I don't think wages was a part of that report
No, it wasn't.
necessarily.
Yeah, what, yeah.
But, yeah.
It was just, I
But-
think, to see how things are run here.
Yeah, what the
What
recommendations
suggestions
were.
are. But that's, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Take care, folks.
Hey, happy 4th of July, Chris.
You too.
All right.
Feel special. County Administrator, anything else miscellaneous? You have nothing?
I'm good.
Okay. Miscellaneous,
Okay,
please.
The Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the kennel disposition report and intake report for June 5th, 2023 through June 18th, 2023, as presented by the Chief Dog Warden Dave McIntyre.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes?
Mike?
Yes.
Before you go to the next one, yes. Yeah, have we heard anything else about Manaway with the dogs?
No.
Anybody?
No.
There's a big article in today's
Yeah.
page, they're gonna get misdemeanors, which people are upset that they think they should get felonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I guess in Parma, which is
Yeah.
Cuyahoga, they're getting felonies and we're looking at 46 misdemeanors.
46.
Yeah.
It's in the front page of the
146,
paper.
okay.
Yeah, I got one other thing before you start. I've met all 4 of the canvassers yesterday. They were in my development, and then when they worked the development, they stopped at the end, so I stopped to see if they wanted water or whatever. What a great group of people.
Yeah, people-
I guess it's young
They were
kids.
just so nice and energetic and wanted to be there, and it was fun.
Cool.
All right, I'll make a
Okay.
motion, the Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the June 22nd, 2023 certificate of the county auditor that the total annual appropriations from each fund do not exceed the amended official estimate of resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, as presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners acknowledge receipt of the June 26, 2023 certificate of the county auditor that the total annual appropriations from each fund do not exceed the amended official estimate of resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023, as presented by the Portage County Auditor's Office.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners amended journal entry number 9, adopted on June 22nd, 2023, acknowledged receipt of June 15th, 2023, notice from Faith Lyon and Terry Nielsen, Portage County Board of Directors. There was a clerical error with the correspondence, which should read, the Board of Elections will be open to the public appropriation for a special election. If you recall, Barb asked us if it was a special or if it was a primary, and our documentation for the Board of Election incorrectly had primary. So, that's it.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion, the Board of Commissioners approves the appointment of Randy Bell and Audrey Kessler to the Portage County Mental Health and Recovery Board.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike? Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to proceed with placing a renewal of 2 tax levies for a total of 2.9 mils for the necessary requirements of the Portage County Board of Developmental Disabilities for a 10-year period.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
Since we have Karen and John here, do you guys want to comment? We're getting ready to approve your levy. Do you have any comments you'd like to make on that?
Well, just that,
A replacement.
we're asking for replacement. You know, similar to Kelly Jo's situation, we're really struggling. Our suicide rate is still very, very high. Our overdose incidence is, I think it's at 49 for the past year.
It's the highest on record.
Highest on
For this
record
year?
Yes, for this past year.
Past year.
Past calendar year, through Dean DePero in the coroner's office. We're struggling with crisis services, we're struggling with waiting lists for children. So it's just much needed. And I also want to say, in the past 5 years or so, the board has begun to very aggressively pursue grants, state grants, federal grants. Some of that is just those opportunities finally opened up. And so we've increased our budget over the past 5 years, close to 20%, mostly through competitive grants. The state opioid response grant, which Rob Portman was a big leader of nationally, we've gotten several grants from that. But again, we just really need more funding, and a replacement levy would be very helpful. Did you have anything you want to say, Karen? Karen heads our levy campaign. She's very good, very good. And we've had very successful, usually 67% approval rate,
Good.
so that's historically.
And that'll be on the ballot in November?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'll
Thank
make a
you.
motion to proceed with placing a replacement levy of 1.00 mils for the necessary requirements of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Portage County for a 10-year period.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Is there anything else to come for the board right now? We'll take a recess till 11 o'clock to public comment. Thank you.
Thank you,
Guys,
Commissioner.
for
Thank you.
coming in
Good to see you guys.
today.
Good to see you also.
come out of recess. Is there anything else to come before the board?
Nope.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call. Thank you. Roll call.
That's your job.
Tony.
Roll call.
Tony,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Sabrina.
No, I don't wanna leave. Yes. Have a happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Have a good afternoon.